Hi, everybody, and welcome to the DogCo Secrets podcast. This is a really special episode because I have my friend, colleague, and I guess team member now, Rebecca, which
Yeah.
we'll get into. Team member Rebecca Thompson with Skyline Pet Care here today, and she is going to share a bit about her story, a bit about her growth journey. Rebecca has done such a beautiful and amazing job growing her business in the last year since we started working together. So much so that I wanted her to come onto the DogCo team to help clients with their journey this upcoming year, which we will get into a little bit. Today, I'm just so excited to dig into her story, to dig into some of the decisions she made this year, and ultimately, just to let you know, as the audience, what I'm hoping you take from this episode is how much you can grow your business and experience within your business in only a year if you remain emotionally resilient and you stay leaned in. So thank you, Rebecca, for being here.
Thanks for having me. I just did the like do 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 do.
Perfect. We're in for a fun episode. I can already tell. Well, I'd love if you wouldn't mind taking people back to the beginning of how we got to know each other and kind of when you and I intersected. Rebecca did the DogCo Mastermind through the year of 2025. So how we intersected before then and where your business was at that point in time.
Yeah, so I was a little baby business. I had kind of completed my first year. I was looking for a tax person to help me file taxes. I looked into Tiny Paws, but they were full, so they referred me to Shannon. And Shannon is wonderful. She kept talking about Michelle this, Michelle that. I'm like, who is Michelle? So she talked about your group. And so I joined and lurked for a little while. And then that fall of 2024, I was like a year and a half old business. And I met you and Flavia, shout out to Flavia, at the PSI conference. And she was like, I don't even work for her. I just volunteered to come because like I believe in it that much. I was like, you're crazy. But okay. And now I get it. I get it. I drank the jungle juice, I guess. But I think less than a month after PSI, we had our consultation. And then I was like, okay, let me talk to Shannon, make sure I can like do it. And she was just like, yeah, if you like don't do this and don't do that, like you got it. It's great. And I was like, okay, good. So then I signed on. Now I'm here. And now I'm working with you. That's crazy.
I love it. Full circle, full arc. And I would no longer say you have a baby small business. Also, just to be clear, because, well, I know because we talked about it, but you are only $6,000 away at the end of 2025. So Rebecca and I are filming this mid-November. She is 6,000 away from doubling her business this year over last year.
Crazy. Crazy. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. We have some things in the pipeline. Thanks to
Yeah.
Michelle.
We have a plan. And here's the
Yeah.
thing, even if you don't hit it, just to take the audience into my coaching style really quickly, we'll have data for next year. So we'll have really good information on some of these end of year promotions that we're trying to see, next year when you double again, what we can do to get some of that cash flow rolling in at the end of the year.
Have you talked to Doug? I just told him that was my goal for next year was to double again.
I hadn't, but I love that goal. I am a
Yeah.
big fan of like, let's double or nothing. Why not? I
Yeah.
think it's great.
Let's go. Let's
Yeah.
fluff and go.
LFG, as we say in the DogCo world. So I'd love to break down a little bit about your experience last year. Specifically, so sometimes I think when we're standing on the other side of achieving something, it feels like, oh yeah, I did that. And we get to kind of have that high point on the mountain. But what it took to get there was like digging through the trenches.
I'm crying.
And, there might have been some tears at one point last year. Did Venmo you $10 to get a margarita? Because I was like, this girl is hanging on by a thread.
Yeah.
We need some
Yeah.
serious intervention. So would you mind sharing just an honest look at how the last year has been for you as a business owner?
It's a very broad question. I think it's been really hard, like
Mm.
a lot of hard work and a lot of actively deciding, okay, like this is reality. Great. What am I going to do about it? Tuning into the mastermind, actually making that priority and just pressing on. I mean, and crying. I'm a crier, so I've cried like so much. And that's okay. That's one of my, I guess, coping mechanisms. But yeah, like leaning into community, I think also building
Mm.
a community here in Houston with other pet sitters, and then just trying to be active in my mastermind cohort and get to know those people as well, and not just be the introverted Rebecca that's like never going to say anything.
I've seen you do that this year and like really lean into people. And I feel like this story, we didn't talk about me sharing this ahead of time. So if I share it and you want me to cut it out, I can. I feel like an experience you had this year that really exemplified just how much you've prioritized community and the benefit and return of that was at PSI conference again this year when you had a staff member quit without notice and another company filled in for you, which was incredible. Like one of these relationships that you've nurtured said like, yes, we'll step in, we'll help, we're here for you. And that was like, I have goosebumps talking about that. Like that was really cool to see.
Yeah. I just remember like walking into the conference that day. It was like the first full day. I saw Lauren and I just started crying. I was like, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna have to like drive back home because it was in San Antonio, so it wasn't very far. But all I could think of in my head was like, I'm gonna have to drive back home. I just wasted all this money to be
Mm,
here, and I'm gonna miss out on like hanging out with my new friends. And I was just like overwhelmed. But yeah, Kristen, I love you. She stepped in, her team stepped in, and now she's on maternity leave, and I was able to do the same for her. So it's just like
mm.
a win-win, and I'm not gonna cry, but
It's okay if
love
you do.
her to death. Yeah, so thankful.
That was really, really cool to see because it's hard. Like, it's hard not to see a person in your service area as an ally rather than a competitor. And yet, I love hearing about the group that you have formed and getting to meet so many of them actually earlier this year when I was in Houston. It's so clear you guys just support each other and want each other to win. And it was just such a cool example of that. Let me know if you want me to cut that out of the podcast,
Yeah,
but I
no,
loved that moment.
yeah. And I hope you come to Houston again because we've grown even more. So two of them are gonna be in the mastermind, maybe three. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's gonna
yeah.
be
I
a
mean,
fun
twist my
time.
arm. That's a good time. I love it. So, one of the coolest things about you, Rebecca, is how early you invested in a resource to grow your business at such a like young stage of the business. And like, yes, it was DogCo specifically, but it could have been something else. Like, you just have this investment mindset. I'd love to hear more about where does that come from and what benefits do you see from that?
I think it comes from I was a teacher before, so just seeing how much of a difference it made in my students when they bought in August of the school year, the first month of the school year versus when they bought in like March when they realized they're about to fail.
Mm,
And I mean, it's just mountains and valleys. Like it's so different. I didn't want to be taking longer to get to where I knew I could get to.
mm,
Because if I go by
mm-hmm,
myself, it's going to take me hella long time. If I
mm,
go with others who've already gone through it, not that they're giving me a cheat sheet, but they're kind of like, all right, let's go. And
mm-hmm.
we're going together. So it's just better that way.
One of the things that I tell smaller companies when they're looking to join, because you and I talked about this too, at the time that you joined, this is no longer true, but at the time you were one of the smallest companies in DogCo. And again, no longer true because you did the work this year. But one of the things that I tell smaller companies is, you really have a choice coming into this year. You can lean into feeling intimidated by who's in this room or you can lean into like the gift that it is and the way that that can accelerate you. Because when you're the smallest company in the room, man, you have access to just so much lived knowledge and experience from other people. And I think one of the things that I'm most proud of with DogCo, because like I can't control this, like this just so freely sharing their knowledge to help other people grow and succeed.
I remember joining the office hours like those first couple months, and I would always hear Lauren talking about stuff. And I was just like, oh my God, like she has it all together. Oh my God, like what the heck? Like, what am I doing here? And I'm just listening, and I'm not even there yet. I'm not even going to work on that yet because I have to work on this. And now we're besties. So it's crazy.
I love it. Yeah, like real friendship and finding that pathway. That's amazing. Well, and one
Yeah.
of the reasons that I was so excited and am so excited to have you joining the DogCo team is because there are a lot of companies that you'll be working with this year that I think you'll be able to relate to in such a different and more like intimate way than some of the other success leaders because you've done this so recently. Like you've been in this path of crossing from being in the field all the time with these huge bottlenecks to not that everything is perfect now, but like truly working on your business and having walked that path so recently and so well this year. I think there are certain clients inside of DogCo that are going to have such a cool experience because I did that 8 years ago. You know what it's like to do that last year. You know what I mean? Like it's just so recent experience. I love that.
Yeah. And being able to talk with some of them already has been cool because it's just kind of one of them told me like you're a future me and I was just like, "Oh my God, what?" I mean, like I'm just here doing the work. Like I'm not just like I don't have it all figured out. I'm still learning a lot, but it was just very touching. So it's always easier to be the cheerleader for other people than yourself. So I'm excited to kind of be their cheerleader.
Yeah.
We all
Well,
need it, but
I'll keep cheerleading you,
thank you.
but I love that. And I hope that was a cool moment of reflection for you in that conversation of you are now that next like rung on the ladder that smaller companies are trying to get to. And so just you getting to kind of help lead that pathway for them, I think is really, really neat.
Yeah, one of the questions that I mean, I guess like a lot of people ask this, but was kind of what was the most surprising thing for me in DogCo? I mean, I hadn't thought about it until they had asked me. And I will say, like, my answer was very surprising too, because I feel like it's not even really much to do with the business, but just kind of seeing my brain be like rewired and the confidence I have in my business now is so
Mm,
much more. The confidence I have in myself talking about my business is so much more. The confidence I have talking to like other people who have 5, 10 times my business size is so much more. And it's just like, what the heck? But it's awesome. I love it. And so I'm really glad I did make that jump. And I think my literal words to you when I signed on was like, I'm going to bite the bullet. So I'm glad I bit the bullet.
there's this funny line in the conversation we're having right now. So, disclaimer to people, I've not asked Rebecca to talk about exclusively DogCo or anything like that. It has been a big part of her journey. Anything she's saying is her own experience. I have not informed these talking points. What would you say was the biggest thing through the year that has given you that confidence? Because I've seen it on my end too. You're showing up with a different energy, and it's awesome. Are there any experiences that you think you went through in the last year that have helped you gain that confidence specifically?
Okay. Growing up, my mom was very, this is like so therapy. If you join DogCo, you're going to get therapy eventually. So there's like therapy months that we have and we call it therapy. But growing up, my mom was very picky on who I spent time with
Mm,
because she would always say, whoever you spend the most time with is who you're going to be.
hmm,
And so I think that probably has a lot to do with it because I've made an effort. I haven't been at every meeting, every office hours, every cohort meeting, but I've made an effort to be at as many as possible
mm-hmm,
and just, I mean, that's who I hang out with. It's like you and all these other business owners who I think, if they are talking, they probably have some confidence
mm,
and they're giving advice. And it's not even necessarily that you come asking for advice or anything, but you just come say, hey, I'm working on this. How did this go for you? What can I expect? What should I look out for that I'm not thinking of? And just like hearing that every day for a
mm-hmm.
year. I mean, I
Yeah,
think it's crazy if it doesn't change you.
I love that framing. It's like putting yourself in an environment where it's more likely you would change than you wouldn't, and then just letting that compound over time.
Yeah.
About to say that's going to be a social media post.
If I didn't come I mean, it would be not only would I lose out on the money that I'm paying, but it would have been such a disservice to myself. It would have been setting myself up to not succeed with DogCo. And then I probably would have blamed DogCo. But it was me. I didn't show up. And I think like your interview with Maris, y'all talked about like the gym membership that you don't use.
Mhm.
Like I can't blame the gym for not losing weight because I don't go.
Mm.
So it
Yeah.
is, I mean, that's such a true metaphor.
Yeah, like you put yourself in the place to succeed this year, and I love that that's the byproduct.
Yeah. I'm very much like if I'm paying for it, I'm gonna do it. That is how I chose to do the mastermind because I did your free stuff in the group.
Yeah.
And I was just like, if I can do all this free stuff and see a change, like imagine how her paid stuff is. And it's definitely not disappointed.
Good. Good. That's the goal. Always to outpace with the value. Can I tell you one of the confidence building moments I saw on my side with you and your business this year?
Okay.
So it was actually the day that I did Venmo you for a margarita, which
So
I will say is not my go to move as a coach. However, so Rebecca comes to this cohort call, and I can tell she's been crying. And she comes on mic and says, half of my team put in notice this week. It was like a very vulnerable moment. And that might be ad libbing a little bit. This was several months ago now. But, you know, a lot of my team, you were really struggling with employee retention. You had really high turnover. And it was one of those sad moments for me as a coach when I see someone that's doing all the things I suggest. They are leaning in, they are showing up, and it still just isn't quite working yet. And I could tell you were having that moment. And one of the reasons I did Venmo you is because that's a crossroads that a lot of people don't realize they're at in their business, where that would have been a moment you could have walked away. You could have just said, this isn't worth it. I am tired. I keep hiring people that keep putting in notice really quickly. And I can't do it anymore. And instead, you got a margarita. You took the time
hell
you
yeah.
needed.
I got multiple.
That week warranted a bit of a moment. Yes, a moment in time. But you took a step back, regrouped, and then you just kept going. And that really stood out to me as a very defining moment of both your character and also who you were and are becoming as a business leader, as somebody that just doesn't give up. That moment really stood out to me.
It's kind of weird to hear you say that I'm someone that doesn't give up because I feel like I'm like excuse queen. So, but I think that's one of the changes from this year is I'm like make moves or make excuses and like pick one.
Hmm.
Don't do both. You can't do both. So, thank you.
I mean it. From the seat that I'm in, your actions reflect you're someone that doesn't give up. And that's what matters the most is the action and the steps and the implementation that we take. And you effing did the thing this year.
And we're gonna do it again next year with a
Double or
better
nothing.
turnover.
Yeah, we with a much better
My
turnover
God.
rate. So maybe let's put us in the mindset of this conversation. This conversation is going to get posted on the DogCo Secrets podcast. So let me pull us forward in time. It's January, maybe early February. The mastermind's been going for 4 to 6 weeks ish. And there are a lot of companies who are in the program. They are new and they're probably having a moment right now where it's like, what have I done? This is a lot of new people. This is a lot of new content. This is a lot of work ahead of me. And, you know, maybe the excitement has faded a little bit because we're like in it now. Maybe some of our January resolutions haven't quite stuck the way we wanted. And we're seeing the mountain in front of us. What would you say to those companies?
I probably cuss.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, cussing warning if you're listening with kids, cut the volume down because Rebecca's going to go. All right, do the thing.
Okay. Be like, okay, like this is the reality. What the fuck are you gonna do about it?
Mm,
Like what can I do to help you do something about it?
mm,
But like ultimately, I can't do anything for you. No one else can do anything for you, but we can surround you, we can uplift you, we can push you. How hard do you want me to push you?
yeah.
I just had that conversation with someone who just signed their DogCo mastermind paperwork.
Ayo.
I texted her and I was like, "Hey, have you made a decision about DogCo?" Because, like, I know that they want to do it. We've
Yeah.
had several conversations about it. I mean, I know they want to, but I also know, like, it is a huge
Hmm.
decision. I mean,
Yeah.
when you're making not that much money, but I was like, "Hey, can we jump on a call?" She's like, "Yeah." So then I called her and I was like, "How hard do you want me to push you in this conversation?" Like, what do you need to push off the ledge or do you want me to just listen to your concern? And
Yeah.
she was like, okay, like, yeah, just like, yeah, I don't know what I really need. I was like, all right, tell me all of your excuses and all of your like things that are holding you back. She's like, well, this and this and this. And I was like, okay, well, this. Okay, well, this. Okay, well, this. Like, there's no excuses. So, yeah, I mean, I hope not to make anyone feel bad. I just want them to push through their like blocked mind,
Hmm.
and you can't look at the inside always and see what's blocking you and go through
Hmm.
it. You need like the outside
Hmm.
to break through. We're gonna punch walls.
Can I tell you what I love about that mindset? I'm actually about to do a live stream in the Big Dog Co group on this in like 15 minutes, 30 minutes actually. This will be very much in the past by the time this episode airs, but it's all about taking real responsibility for your business because there for sure always will be things outside of our control. But I think the problem is we see those things and then we kind of put the mindset on or the perspective that everything is outside of my control then. And that is so not true. Like the way that you show up for yourself, the way that you show up for your business within what's within your control, which is a lot more than it feels like most of the time. That's where the real magic happens and the real work happens. I love that that's your advice to companies is like, how bad do you want it? And that is you. And I really liked the question you asked. How hard do you want to be pushed? Because I also know you pretty well, and I know you're going to cheerlead them to get there. And I know you're going to tell them every step of the way, you can do this, and I do believe in you. And how can I help you? But I really like that you're also bringing the other side of that in, which is, but you got to do it. And if you say you want it, you got to show up and do the work because I can't do that for you. And that's so true. You can't.
Yeah. I may like cheerlead a little aggressively, but
Oh, that's fine. We accept that here. I may talk to you about the use of the F bomb. That, just let's let them
yeah.
get to know you first, just a little bit.
Yeah. I'll
I'm
let
just
them
kidding.
know.
We like aggressive cheerleading here in DogCo.
Yes. Aggressive and with love always.
Always. Well, I think that is a perfect note to end on. For any companies listening, I do want you to feel aggressively cheerled by me, Rebecca, and the other success leaders this year because you are doing the dang thing. It is so hard. If it were easy, this is an Alex Hormoziism, more people would be doing it. You are on a unique, powerful, courageous journey that takes a lot, but I believe also returns a lot to you if you lean in and let it shape you. So, specifically to any DogCo clients this year, thank you for letting us be part of your journey and just thankful you're here. Any final words on your end, Rebecca?
Kind of like to add, like everything in business, it's gonna be hard.
Mm,
I feel like if you choose to do it alone, it's harder.
hmm.
So whether it's DogCo or people in your local community or whatever, entrepreneurs get it. So you can't just have like random people next to you, but get somebody next to you or multiple people next to you somehow and do it with them because it's not going to be easier necessarily, but it's going to be better doing it with other people.
Yeah, here, here.
Here,
Okay,
here.
everybody, have a good one.